Outgrowing your friends is one of the hardest things you'll ever go through, and yet nobody really wants to talk about it. Nobody can guide us through the process. Nobody can tell us how to deal with it in a healthy and productive way. That's where I come in case you're new to my channel. Hi, I'm Kara. I'm a coach, psychologist, and I'm the founder of the Healed Baddies membership, which is my beautiful community where I help my clients become their best self and win in life. And friendships, or breaking apart from our friendships, is really just something that has come up very, very often, very, very recently. So why not talk about it? In this video, I want to cover the problems that we face when we have the situations with our friends, the psychology behind it, so why all of this is even happening, and last but not least, the solution. So how we should move through it and how we should deal with it. So the problems are very often that we feel guilty for growing. It's like, oh, I don't want to outgrow my friend. I don't want to be different. I want to stay with them and be with them. And if I don't resonate with their lives anymore or with who they are, it means I'm a weirdo. It means there's something wrong with me, right? And this happened to me as well. There was a period in my life where I outgrew a lot of friends and I felt like a fucking outcast. I felt like I was not good enough. I would not belong anywhere. And it really happened because I would not be okay with settling for the life that everybody would settle for. It was just not for me, not because it was bad, but I just didn't align with it. Like, my desires and my dreams were completely different. And that made me feel like I was just this weird ass kid who was going through a quarter life crisis, basically. And I felt very guilty and very shameful about it because I was questioning me and my integrity and who I am as a person, when in reality, I just didn't know that I do belong. I just do belong somewhere else. And the future that was waiting for me was very fulfilling and very amazing, but I wasn't there yet. So I was this old version of me that was yet to go through this transformation. And that can feel very, very horrible and very, very lonely, because eventually you feel like nobody really gets you anymore. And no matter how good you try to communicate and express yourself, it's just not landing for people. And you just feel like you are in this bubble all on your own and on this different parallel universe. And you just have to figure it out. And that is when we try to force the connection to stay alive, because we don't want to leave our friends. And if this is something that maybe these are people that you were friends with for such a long time and this is really all you ever known, it does make sense that it feels super uncomfortable to outgrow them or to not align with them anymore. And again, we cling on to them, we hold on to them, we try to fit in, we try to misshape ourselves in a way just so that we can stay where we have been all along, even when we don't belong in that spot anymore. And it really also comes down, and I see this a lot, where people start to confuse loyalty with stagnation. And it's like, if I am a good friend, I cannot leave my friends behind. I have to bring them on this journey with me, or I have to play small, I have to keep myself short, because I cannot be who I want to be unless they are on board with that. And that is just you fucking up yourself, to be honest. This is you doing yourself a huge disservice, and also the friendship, because it's not authentic anymore. It's not real anymore. And you're not more or less loyal just because you stay stagnant. You're actually self-sacrificing, which is not doing anybody a favor, because again, if you are not happy, you cannot be a good friend. You have to feel comfortable and safe and make sure that you can be your real self around your friends. And if that is not the case or not the case anymore, it's just because energy has shifted and we need to move on with our lives. Now, growth, and this is where the psychology of all of that comes in, growth is very, very natural. Outgrowing people is very, very natural. People come in our lives for different reasons, right? And maybe you have heard these quotes that say some people come for a reason or a season and some are forever and blah, blah, blah. But it really just is all that. Some people come because they resonate with a version of you that you are not anymore. Some people come in your life to teach you a lesson. Some people come to stay and support you for a season and then leave again. And no matter who these people are or what their purpose in your life is, outgrowing them is normal. Not everybody will come along. Most people will not. Most people will fall off. That is unfortunately just the course of life. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you are a shitty friend. It doesn't mean that they are a shitty friend. It just means that everybody is trying to find themselves, and create the lives that they desire and feel called to. And we should just, like, in general, normalize this a lot more. Because when we change internally, and it can be because of an experience, it can be because of a realization, a belief, or just a dream that keeps calling us, we automatically change our frequency. We change our energetic state and who we are at our very core. So we start vibrating differently as well. And this also, like, I hate how fluffy that sounds, and I hate like the spiritual woke speeches. But at the end of the day, when we break it down, it really just is energy, and it really just is that you are not aligned anymore. And maybe you have been in the past and it was amazing and it was a beautiful friendship. Maybe it was not. Really depends on the situation. But what we know for now is that the path will separate, not because anybody is at fault, but because it's just not meant to last. I believe in a lot of things where a lot of people are meant to be, not a lot of them are meant to last. So clinging on to old connections and trying to keep them alive really just cockblocks you from finding new, more aligned connections, because eventually if you lose some friends, you will find new ones. That's just the evolution of life. And even though you don't want to trade your friends, and I get that, we can't see it from that angle. Like, we have to change our perspective and really acknowledge that we can love those people and we can respect them and we can hold them in our heart forever, but that doesn't mean that they get to stay in our lives. And sometimes we need to move on and really become the person that we desire to be, so we can attract new people who are in alignment with our new and better self. Because there is a tribe, or there's a group of people for everybody out there, and you are never meant to be or stay alone. Even when you go through lonelier phases in your life, you're always meant to come back to people who get you and support you and hold you and are there for you. And if these people who are in your life right now cannot do this job anymore, it just means that they're not your people anymore. And I see this a lot, where people try to make anybody wrong to create a problem because they cannot understand that it's just energetic that you're separating, and they try to like pinpoint it and find this one thing that they can blame for to make it make sense, because obviously we cannot see the energetic change in all these things. But just because people aren't your people, whether that is that they're not your people anymore or because they've never been your people, doesn't mean that they're bad people. They may be incredible people. They may be really good people. They're just not your people. And that gets to be fine. And when we look at the solutions of how can we solve this issue and how can we move through that in a mature way, I would say you need to accept the fact that this is just a universal thing, that people do outgrow each other. Especially if you are somebody who values growth and who wants to move forward in your life, and you're surrounded with people who don't have these ambitions or who don't have this drive or this passion or this longing for more. Again, it gets to be fine. Everybody desires what they desire. At the end of the day, everybody gets to choose their life. But if you are somebody who wants to go out in the world and do more and be different, it does make sense that you will outgrow a lot of people, because unfortunately, and this is just a fact, most people don't want to grow. Most people hate growing. Most people avoid growing at all costs. So if you're somebody who wants to become better or become your best self or move along in your journey, you will pass by a lot of people that you love and respect, because at one point you will have to see that you cannot hold yourself back anymore for anybody or for anything, because you owe that to yourself, and this is your life and this is your one chance, and we do not take that for granted. And if we say we are so privileged and grateful for the lives that are given to us and the opportunities, we must take them. And it would be honestly very, very selfish not to, because there are people right now in the world waiting for you to step into this better version of you that you are not becoming because you're scared of what the people around you will think. And I will just say this: If people are really your friends and they really support you and love you, they will continue to do that no matter what path you choose. If they don't support you, it means they're misaligned and they cannot come with you, and that's fine as well. So don't force what is no longer connected. And you will always share a history. You will always have beautiful memories. You will always look back and feel somewhat familiar with them and to them. It's like you just have this instant vibe and you just feel at home. But that home is now cock blocking you. It is now holding you back. It is now not supporting your growth. And so you need to move forward and just see how people respond. Some will continue the journey with you, others won't. And that gets to be perfect and fine. Nobody needs to be made the scapegoat. Nobody is at fault, and nobody's a bad person for choosing themselves, because at the end of the day, this is a human experience and we are here to experience life in whatever way we choose to. So going after your dreams is really just the universe's or God's calling. And like, if you have an idea, if you have a wish, a dream, a desire, it is meant to find you and it is meant for you to go after it. So I also want you to reframe what loyalty really means, because it's not just because you're not friends anymore that you now go and trash talk them. It's not just that you now go and spill their secrets. Like, that is just stupid. And when I look at my ex-friendships, I still love them, I still respect them, I still like talk to them when I see them occasionally, but they're not an active part of my life. But my loyalty has never changed, because for me it's like I now choose myself over them, which is always the right thing to do, because you cannot like fill up anybody else's cup if your cup is empty. But at the same time, I am not being a bitch to them. I am not ungrateful for what we had. I am not like arrogant, and I'm not ignoring them. Like, why should I? These are amazing people. Again, they're just not my people, and that's perfect. So loyalty also means that you are loyal to yourself and you're loyal to your future self and who you have to become in order to like attract the people that need you in their lives and the people that are waiting for you to be with them. So there are many people that you are yet to meet, and if you don't become the person that you're meant to be, you're missing out on them and they're missing out on you, which is, again, also like not, if you want to talk about loyalty, like how unloyal would that be? To not follow your dream, to not chase your desire, to not go after the thing that makes your soul lit up on fire, right? So again, be always compassionate with people from your past, present, or future. It doesn't really matter. I feel like respect is something that everybody deserves, unless people are not respecting you, which is another conversation. But for me, it's always about like parting in a cool way, in a respectful way, in not this bitchy, she did, you did, he said thing. Because that is just like running in circles, and that is not what we want to do. We want to elevate, we want to level up, we want to reach new layers. So it's like, how can I move on in peace? And if people don't understand that or respect that, honestly, that has nothing to do with you, and it's also not your like baggage to carry. Because at the end of the day, how you respond and how you act is on you. But how people feel about that, or how people react, or how triggered they are about that, is really just a reflection of themselves and has nothing to do with you. So allow the space for new things and new people to come into your life. Allow the space to disconnect what no longer feels aligned or is not meant for you anymore, and make sure that you act in accordance to the things you value and your priorities and not your emotions. It's easy to get caught up in anger and frustration and then do shit that you normally wouldn't do and act out of character. But that is how we create more regrets and how we stay in this spiral of shame. For me, I always try to like be the person that I feel like is the most mature in this situation. I try to leave people in peace, not in pieces. And I just hope that the same comes back. And if it doesn't, it just reaffirms my decision of moving forward and not having these people or this person in my life anymore. if this video resonated with you, helped you change your perspective, let me know, like it, comment, share it with your friends. And if you're interested in working with me or in being a part of the Healed Baddies membership where we actively become our best self, feel free to DM me, feel free to contact me, click on the links in my bios, and I'm more than happy to have you. And if not, I see you in the next YouTube video.